not like each other. Kovalev came out, really saying how much he dislikes Andre Ward, how much he did not like his arrogance in him winning the fight, and saying that he knew that he really didn't win it. So this, to me, is a real matchup. This isn't like one of those, challengers that aren't good enough or kind of a pass-through fight. This is a big fight. I think this is the real deal.
Right. Yeah, well, and that's the thing, man. These guys do not like each other. Now, people say, it's just two more fighters been hyping up a fight, trying to sell tickets. And, there's probably an element of it to that. But over the past few weeks, these guys have really, really come to hate each other. Kovalev definitely thought he won the first fight, as did Andre Ward. There's been, some give back between the camps as well here in the weeks coming up to this fight. But it will be, I'm expecting a real good fight tonight. And I wish the pay-per-view price was a little more manageable for people, man. But you Periscope it, Facebook Live, I don't care. If you get a chance to see it, take a look, because you're going to see two good fighters.
Oh, yeah. And, really scheme on the Facebook. I guess I'm going to say search Ward Kovalev and see what comes up. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to be streaming the fight. But you didn't hear that from me. But anyway.
No. I use Periscope. I think Periscope's, let's say, a little more willing to let those types of things stay up. So, I would maybe try with that first. Facebook seems to be pretty good with getting that stuff shut down pretty quick, especially for the main fights, man. But, give them both a try.
Yeah, definitely.
You didn't hear it from us, though.
Right. Like the old school In Living Color. You didn't hear that from me. All right, so Andre Ward, like I said, he felt disrespected. He didn't get the credit. What's at stake in this fight? I was looking this up on ESPN. Ward wants to defend the title. Kovalev wants to prove that he's better. What's at stake for both of these guys?
Well, let's start with the champion, Andre Ward. First off, his undefeated record. Boxers take that very seriously. You see how Floyd feels about it and things like that. So his undefeated streak, obviously the championship belts are on the line as well. But for Andre Ward, just, speaking in terms of his legacy, Ben, this is a big fight for him, because there are more than a fair share of naysayers that said he did not win the first fight. So if he can come in here and I'll say dominate to a certain degree Kovalev, then all of a sudden he's got the true momentum. He'll have fans back on his side, and he can kind of dictate who he's going to fight and look at and stuff moving forward. Now for Crusher Kovalev, a little bit different. Obviously, he's not undefeated anymore, but for him, I think it's more truly pride. He really feels he won that first fight, Ben. He really feels that. He knocked Ward down in the second round, and I think what he needs to do is to really amp up the pressure a little bit more on him early. And I think and I was saying this on my boxing show last night, Ben Ringside, he really needs to work the body. He needs to come out and just, Rocky Balboa type body training, hitting that meat and, just hitting them so hard his ancestors will feel it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. Then
after that, he can move upstairs, start working on the head. But he's really got, I think, work the body and sap some of that energy Andre Ward to have.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was going to be my next question there, or next thing we were going to get into. But first of all, I got to say, welcome to the chat room to Miss Mocha Bella, MIA's finest. Appreciate you for jumping in to the chat room.
Mocha, the queen. She's the queen of the 305, Ben.
Yes, she is. To your point, and Andre Ward actually got dropped in the second round of the fight last November. So you made a really great point. Yeah, Sergey Kovalev's plan has to be to get those body shots in. That's in his game plan. What do you think Ward needs to do going into this? Do the same thing he did, or How does he capitalize on this opportunity again?
I think he needs to do what he did the second half of the fight. He needs to do it quicker and add a little more to it. And what I mean is really, try and be authoritative with that jab. Don't allow him to get cut off in the ring, but yet cut Sergey off in the ring. And if he's able to kind of limit Sergey that way by kind of, taking away some angles from him, Andre Ward will be just fine. I don't know if he necessarily has the power to knock out Kovalev per se, but, he can keep them fists in the face and a fighter that's getting hit all night, all of a sudden it becomes a very discouraged fighter. So, look for that from Andre Ward, kind of a little bit more than what he did in the second half of the first fight. And, maybe look for him to kind of work the body too, Ben, because that was the thing. Regardless of what Sergey says about that first fight, he was tired after round 5. So we're going to have to see what type of shape he's in, what type of training he might have done, because, and he admitted it. He got tired. So he's going to have to be prepared to go 12 rounds with Andre again.
I agree. Yeah, that was a big part of it, and you made a great point. That second half of the fight, was definitely a winner for Andre, and that was a big thing about the last fight because of the way it ended in that second half of it. Yeah, Kovalev was clearly tired, so he has to go into this fight knowing that it's going to go the distance. And I agree with you also wholeheartedly that this fight is not going to be a knockout. And if it is a knockout, I think it's going to be a knockout for Kovalev, but I don't see Kovalev winning. I don't see it happening. I'm an Andre Ward fan, being that he is from Oakland. I'm from the Bay Area as well, but I think this guy has put in work. But because of the doubt in the previous fight, I think he has to win this fight convincingly. I don't think it can be like the last fight, because I think it would go Kovalev's way in this one. And I don't know if I think Ward has to step it up a little bit, because if you don't win this convincingly, if it's not flat out who wins this, I think Kovalev got the advantage.
Yeah, it can't be kind of, half fight Kovalev wins, half think Andre wins. Somebody's got to really lay the stake here to the claim of the championship. You got other fighters, Terrence Crawford out there, number 1, looking for a possible fight with the winner of this type. Man, let me tell you, Ben, if Andre wins, he can really start doing some big things. Kovalev, I'd say Kovalev might be a little bit more popular in the boxing community, only because Andre Ward went away for a while. He had to get some lawsuits taken care of with promoters and things like that. And you know what they say, out of sight, out of mind. And, you have Kovalev at that time coming up through the ranks. I do like how Kovalev has worked on his English to kind of expand his brand in this country, being able to do interviews, talk to reporters and whatnot. But I totally understand what you're saying about Andre, because he does it under the radar. He seems to be a real good guy, in and outside of the ring. And you know what they say, man, that's a boring story in today's society, so he's not going to get the press that he probably deserves.
Right. That's true. I mean, I followed him since his Olympic days, and it seemed like there were so many fights. Huh?
Oh, no, I was just saying, gold medal.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been following him for a long time, and it seemed like I've had to search for his fights. It wasn't, if you got a Canelo fight, if you got a Triple G fight, it's going to be on the radio, it's going to be on TV. You're going to see it at least once or twice. His fights, I've had to look for them. I've had to try to find them.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think that's the difference between being a knockout, and also I think being a knockout guy and a guy that kind of goes the distance. I think that's also a reason why, is that he's a guy that doesn't. I don't know how many knockouts he necessarily has. Let me actually go to my stats.
You bring up a very good point. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the host there, but he has 15 knockouts and almost 30 fights.
Right.
So that kind of shows you, I hate to say lack of power, but you know what I'm saying. He's not a knockout guy where Kovalev is. Now, if Kovalev lands like he did in that second round and can get smart about how he puts together an onslaught after that, he can definitely get Andre Ward out of here.
Yeah. So here we go. What's your prediction on the fight? Who do you have winning? I know this is the tough question right here.
Yeah. Oh, boy, you know, I've been thinking about this since our show ended last night, Ben, to be honest with you. Because, you know, and I hate, because it sounds real cheesy when you say that type of stuff. Oh, the fight can go either way and all that stuff. Well,
right.
But it really can, man, and it's really just kind of who, you know, inflicts their plan first, maybe, is the best way to put it.
Right.
You know, like I said, if Ward comes out there and you see him in the first round landing some real good body shots, you know what he's going to be doing over the next couple rounds, and you know what he's looking to do. Now, if he gets caught again and gets rocked, I think this time, if he gets rocked first in the early rounds, I think Sergey wins. The longer the fight goes on, I think then you look towards Ward.
Yeah.
And I know that's cheesy out there, people, but that's honestly how I feel about it. I mean, it's literally a 50-50 fight. You know, if you're out in Vegas, you're probably just betting for the value. I don't even know the odds out there in Vegas on this one, but yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about it. My gut is telling me that Ward is probably going to get a decision tonight.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head, though. I think if Kovalev doesn't get this fight over with in the first 5 or 6 rounds, Ward is just that type of fighter that can go the distance, and that's when you get in trouble. That's when I think it catches up with Kovalev. But we will see. And I think you're good. You're good. I mean, this is one of those fights where you can't clearly say who's going to win because you don't know. None of us have a
well, exactly, man. And that's the thing, because we have another fight coming up, Mikey Garcia and Adrian Bronner, and it's literally about 90% of the boxing press is behind Garcia, as am I in that one, just off the boxing skills and how Bronner's looked lately. But this one, it literally is, man, just toss a coin.
Yeah. And while we're talking about this fight, we got a little bit of a battle going in the chat room like it normally is between Mocha Bella and Big L. You know, that's like every show they're going after each other.
Exactly.
Mocha says she's going to be nice today, though. So we'll see. She hasn't went off yet. She said, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. So here we go. We got them fighting words.
Well, that's our girls. Love you, Mocha.
Big shout out to Grego. He says, all right, y'all got to go back to managing someone else's dream. That's the funniest comment I've seen in the chat room today.
Grego's a good dude, man. I really enjoyed hanging out in Atlanta with him the past couple years for Doug Stewart's celebration. Grego's a good dude.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to meeting all you guys for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All
right, so I got to ask you one more thing before I let you go. What do you think, you being a boxing guy, what do you think about this McGregor-Mayweather fight?
It is a glorified, it's going to be the greatest exhibition, and notice the word I use, exhibition,
right,
in history. And you know what? That's okay. Muhammad Ali fought, I forgot the guy's name, Inoki, the big wrestler out of Japan. He was one of the big wrestlers at the time. I mean, hell, even Rocky fought Thunderlips, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so we're used to the spectacle, and that's cool. I mean, hey, it'll be a great weekend to be in Vegas, But in terms of Floyd and him setting this record, I really wish the boxing authorities would not count this as a boxing victory. I think Floyd's just going to pepper this dude and possibly knock him out in the late round, kind of like Ricky Hatton's fight with Floyd. If you want to go back, people, YouTube Ricky Hatton and Floyd Mayweather's fight. And I think this is kind of along that route. But, hey, man, both guys getting a check. And Conor McGregor, he can go make $100 million. He may not even have to fight in MMA anymore. You know, I mean,
right.
We'll have to see if he still has the same zest to come back and get back in the MMA.